Hey everyone, Charlene here. Today I'm going to show you how I made this absolutely adorable bee themed tote using some of the new release from Honeybee Stamps. I have here the Lovely Layers tote for all seasons. You can see it's a large die set with lots of different pieces. This is the layering guide here from Honeybee Stamps, and I downloaded this off of the website. There are two different styles that you can create, and you can create it in a purse style or more of a tote style, which is what I'm going to do today. So I'll go ahead and start by picking some colors of cardstock. I've picked out my colors of cardstock, and you can see these are the dies that I'm not using. Those are for the purse style of bag. For the tote bag, you just need these dies that I've removed. I mentioned I'm going with a bee themed tote, so that's important because that helped me decide what color scheme I wanted to use. So I have a nice natural tan color here for the canvas tote, and then black and gold for the tote accents. I'll start by cutting out two of this die. This is the front and back panel of the tote. Next, I'll cut two of the side panels, then one of the bottom panels. There will be a strip that goes along the top of the front and back panels, so I'll cut that from some brushed gold cardstock, as well as the small hardware details. Then I have this die here that's going to create the top strap, as well as some cords that hang off as a decorative accent. I'm cutting these from black cardstock. I have everything ready to go. I have here the bottom of the purse, and you can see that there are score lines here. I'll start by folding the first score line up towards the center, then I'll turn it around and do the same thing here on the opposite side. For the middle score line, I'm going to fold in the opposite direction, so it's going to give us a zigzag or accordion style fold. All throughout, I'm going to use a bone folder just to make sure I get a really nice crisp fold on the score lines. For the sides of the purse, you can see there's a score line on each edge, one through the center, one across the bottom, and then also a little triangle score line here. I'll start here by folding it up right along that center score line. Then I'll come in and I'm going to fold back on those two side score lines and burnish those as well. I'll pull it back out for the bottom score line and fold it underneath. Then I'll open it back up again and gently fold the two triangle looking score lines up. Now when I flip that flap back underneath, it's going to create the side of our tote bag. I repeated that a second time, so now I have two sides ready to go. I have my front panel here. I'm going to add some glue along one of the gold accent strips. Then I'll layer this along the top edge of the front panel, and I'll repeat that a second time. Then I have my base piece here, the bottom piece, and you want it so the center portion is sticking up. I'll take the front panel here of the tote and I'm going to adhere it to the front tab. So I'll add glue here along this top front tab and place the front panel of the tote right along the edge. I'll turn this over now and repeat that on the other side. You could use double-sided tape to do this. Liquid glue though is going to give you a little bit more wiggle time, which can be helpful when you're working with multiple pieces like this. So when you're finished, you should be able to line up all of the sides of the tote. Next, I'm going to open this up and lay it flat, and I'll grab my side piece here and add glue to one of the tabs. This is going to attach to this front panel right along the inside edge. I'll grab my second side piece and I'll do the exact same thing. So these indented folds should be towards the center fold of the purse because that's how everything's going to line up and stand up on its own. I'm going to add glue along the outside tabs on the sides of the purse. You can see I'm adding it all the way along there. And then I'm also going to add glue to the center bottom tabs. I like to do this step all at once because it's going to help me line everything up and wiggle it around as needed. So I'll just gently close everything together now. I'm going to take the panel so that it goes over those two top tabs that we have, and then I'll close the entire thing by pushing down on the entire tote bag at one time here. This is going to make it so that I can ensure all of the edges line up, that all of those tabs are lined up, and everything is inside where it's supposed to go. Once the glue has started to adhere, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to pop down that middle fold portion as well as the 2 interior side tabs. And I'll bring in a bone folder and make sure those are burnished down really well. Then I'm just going to go back and forth from closing the bag by pushing on the inside pieces and flattening it to opening it back up again. I like to work my bag until the glue has really started to dry, because that's what's going to help ensure it opens easily and closes easily. My tote's finished drying. I'm going to use some magnets. I have a magnetic glass board here just to make my life a little easier, and I'm going to hold my tote in place. And this also helps me see where the center line of my bag is so that I can line up these top straps. I'll add some glue here to the decorative base on the straps and then align them just over the center, and so they come down just slightly onto the tote bag. That looks good. So I'll flip this over, grab the back strap, add some glue again on those decorative areas. And then I can line this up with the front strap so that it hits in the exact same place on the back of the tote as it does on the front of the tote. Now I have this cute little tote with functional straps. Next, I'm grabbing the decorative cords here. These are meant to swing in opposite directions, so you see there's a little bit of a curve to them. You just want to make sure that you separate out the 2 sets. I have my gold hardware pieces here. I'm starting with this large loop piece. I'll add a dot of glue on the bottom of the gold loop. Then place my cord so it goes just over the glue. It can be kind of hard to adhere things to metallic cardstock, so I'm going to use my reverse tweezers here and hold it for a moment. Once it's dried a little bit, then I can grab this D-looking detail of the gold hardware, and I'm going to put it back behind the opposite side of the cord. Then when you're done, you have this cute little cord that has a circle on one end and a D-shaped piece of hardware on the other end. And you can see here, I only have one more circle. It's because I need to cut out a second set of gold hardware, so I'll go ahead and do that. Now I finished putting together all 4 of the cords, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere these now to my tote bag. I'll start by adding some glue around that back circle, and I'll line this up towards the top of the tote bag. I want it to have a little bit of room from that top gold line accent, and then I also want to make sure that I have enough space to place this other piece of hardware that's a little detail piece. Sorry for my head getting in the frame here. It was kind of hard to see when I was doing this part. So I've adhered that. Now I can grab the decorative piece and add some glue to the back of it, and it's going to layer so it goes right over that hoop but doesn't go onto the strap. I'll repeat that now with the remaining 3 cords. I finished adding all of the cords on there. It looks really cute. If you wanted to avoid having that white backing from the metallic cardstock showing, you could always cut out extra of those hardware pieces and glue it on the backside. I'm not worried about it. I'm just ready to get started here now with our cute bee theme. I have a few items here that are also from the new release. I have the Honeycomb die. It's a really lovely die that would look great on the front of a card. I'm using it for this tote though. And then the Heartfelt honey dies here, which are very cute as well. Little layering dies to create 2 different bees. And what is honeybee without some gorgeous florals? These are the Lovely Layers mini spring florals. These create a couple of different flowers. You have a wildflower, an iris, some daffodils here it looks like, maybe another little wildflower there. I'm going to be using the pansy dies, and of course these are going to go really well together for a bee theme. So I'll grab some cardstock here. I'll start with the honeycomb. I'm going to cut this out of white cardstock, and then I'm going to use a piece of yellow cardstock later to back it. Next, I'll use these two dies here for the bee. I'm going to cut these from a couple of colors so that we can do some paper piecing. The outline die I'll cut from black and white, and then the base die I'll cut from yellow and from vellum. I'm going to cut out two of the different flowers. I'll start by cutting out two of the pansies and then one of the wildflowers. These are the dies that I'll be using. I'm also going to cut out two leaf pieces here, as well as the stem for the wildflower, and these are being cut from the same green cardstock. For the buds of the wildflower, they will be in yellow, and then the two sets for the pansy are going to be from that same yellow as well. I have all of my pieces here ready to go. I'm going to start by dotting some glue along the back of the honeycomb, and then I'll adhere that honeycomb to the yellow piece of cardstock. Using my scissors, I can just cut around the edges of the honeycomb, and this is going to give me a nice layered honeycomb. For the bee, the first thing I'm going to do is take the yellow base piece here and cut off the wings. Now, I don't need those wings, so I'm just gonna set them off to the side. I have some dark yellow ink here. I'm gonna pick up some of the ink and I'm gonna bring it onto the sides of the bee's body. And this is gonna make our little bee look 3D once he's all done. I am going to bring a good amount on here, probably more than you would think, because that black outline is going to cover a big chunk of the sides. And I wanna make sure that the shading gets on there in order to create that 3D effect for us. Now I can add glue to the back of the bee body here and glue it to our vellum base piece. Next, I'll grab the black and white outline pieces. I'm going to hold these together, just make sure they're nice and lined up. Then I'm going to cut right along the edge of the bee's body so that the wings get cut off. I'll discard the black wings, keep the white ones. I'll discard the white outline and keep the black outline. So that way when I layer it over the top of the bee, I'll have a black body but white wings. I layered all of those together with some liquid glue. I do have a little eye, so I'll add a dot of glue where I want the eyeball to go, and I'll pick that up with my wax pickup tool in order to place it easily. So there's our cute little bee. I've lined up the pansies in the order that they're going to be layered. This makes it much easier to add shading, and I'm using that same exact yellow that I used for the bee. I'll start here with the smallest piece. This is actually going to be the top piece, and I'm bringing ink from the center going out towards the edges of the petal. This is going to layer on top of this next piece here, so I'll bring my ink coming from the center and going out onto the petals. The next piece, we're largely going to see this area up here, so I'll start towards the center, work the ink out into those petals on the side. And for this last layer, we're mostly just going to see this spot right here. So I'll work my ink starting from this inside portion here and coming out onto that area of the petal. Now I can easily layer these together just by adding glue in the center of the smallest piece and working my way up all the way up to the largest piece. These very easily layer on top of each other. And you can see here now as I'm layering them together how that shading peeks out from behind each of those layers and adds so much depth to the finished flower. I'll repeat that for the second pansy. Then for these center accent pieces, I'm going to keep the larger of these two pieces as yellow. I'm going to recut the two smaller ones from white. These are a little tricky to layer up, so just use a tiny amount of glue when you're working with a small piece like this. I'm adding that glue to the edge of the yellow piece, and then I'm going to use my wax pickup tool to pick up the small white piece and layer it over the top. Now I can take that center piece I just created, add a little dab of glue on the back here, and place it over the center of the pansy. So here are the two completed pansies. Next, I have laid out the pieces that are going to be the blooms for the wildflower, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to add shading in the areas that are going to be underneath another piece. I'm also going to add some shading coming up from the base of each of these blooms. I've added all of my shading, so now I can just layer these up together with some liquid glue. I've finished all of the blooms, so now I can just grab that stem that I cut from the green cardstock, add a little bit of glue to the back of the various areas where the blooms go, and then line them up really easily. So now I have a cute little sprig here with 3 blooms. I am going to add a sentiment to this tote, and I wanted to contrast with the honeycomb. So I'm going to stamp out this Be Well sentiment here onto some black cardstock. I'll use my anti-static tool because I'm going to do some heat embossing here, and I'll ink up my stamp with some clear embossing ink. I'll flip and press and lift and then do that a second time to make sure I have a nice amount of embossing ink. Then I can come in with some opaque bright white embossing powder over the top. Then once my heat tool is nice and hot, I'll take it to the cardstock and melt the embossing powder. I'll cut this out with the coordinating die. Then I did a dry run here of all the pieces. I always recommend doing a dry run, and I added some foam squares to the back of the bee as well as to the sentiment. So now I can just remove the release tape on those and go ahead and adhere them. Now you'll notice here I have the swoop of the sentiment mimicking the body of the bee. That's something to always pay attention to for visual flow. I'm going to cut off the edges of the sides of the honeycomb later, but first I'm going to adhere it to the tote. So I'll add some glue here to the back of the honeycomb, move my flowers out of the way, slide this back in underneath everything so that it lines up along that bottom edge. Now I can add some glue here to the base of this leaf and adhere it back in place here. Then just carefully remove the blooms as well as the other leaf here and add glue and try and get them back into the same spot that I originally had everything. Now I don't want glue on the top blooms here of the wildflower sprig. I just want it on the bottom portion so that way it can still kind of be able to be moved around and look more natural on the front of the tote. I'm going to glue this up over the cord and strap, and then for the pansies, I'm going to add a good amount of glue here to the center of each of them. I'll slide this one here back underneath the cord. And for the second one, I'm actually going to mostly go over the largest bloom of that wildflower sprig, but it's enough that it is peeking out. You'll notice here that this creates a triangle with the 2 pansies and the bee in our sentiment. Now I can flip over the entire bag and trim off those overhanging pieces. I'll start here with this bottom piece of the honeycomb. Then I'll also trim off the little tail here of the wildflower. This will make it so that our bag can easily stand up. I'm also going to trim off these 2 pieces here on the side that are also part of the honeycomb. Just being careful here to not trim the cord. Now, to keep this theme kind of going on, so it looks like that honeycomb is going off into the distance, I'm going to grab those 2 honeycomb pieces that I trimmed off, and I'm actually going to flip them around and adhere them in some of the negative space that is remaining on the tote. So I'll add some glue here to this first piece and then glue to the second piece and adhere them on the opposite edges of the tote. So here's that finished bee themed tote. It's so cute. We have those nice gold hardware accents, the beautiful little accent here with the vellum bee wings, the shading on our bee. I think this turned out absolutely adorable, and I love that it can stand up on its own. I can put a gift or a treat inside of here, but I also could lay it down nice and flat if I need to. Such a fun set from Honeybee Stamps. I hope that you all picked up some tips and tricks today. Please be sure to like and subscribe, as well as hit that notification bell so that I can continue to bring you more crafty content in the future. Until next time, happy crafting.